Well, hello. Welcome to another video. It's me, John, aka Nolsey, and I'm doing this on exactly the same day as my haul, but obviously this is going to go up a little bit later. But yeah, so here is my TFNation 2023 post thoughts. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into my thoughts on the event. So, my post thoughts. So, TFNation 2023 has come and gone for yet another year. I'm going to try and remember certain aspects. I'm going to forget some things. I know I am. Seeing as it's not as fresh in my mind as it would have been, I wanted to kind of get my post thoughts and my haul video done as I got home. I always try to do that when I first get home from the event. I always try and get my haul and thoughts out the way because it's all nice and fresh in my mind. But I ended up coming down a bit ill. So, yeah, that kind of pushed things back. But anyway, so TFNation 2023 was, as always, a fantastic event. It really, really was. I got there on the Thursday, travelled up on the Thursday, got to Digbeth coach station for about 2 in the afternoon, and I had to wait around about half an hour for Lawrence because his coach got delayed, so I had to wait for him for about half an hour. So about 1:30 met up with Lawrence, had a quick bite to eat, then we decided to, well, we ended up getting the taxi in the end, but we thought to take a walk to try and get, to New Street Station and try and get the train up the track, but that didn't technically go according to plan. I think I took the wrong way in the Bullring Shopping Centre. Some people were like, how did you take the wrong way? You can only go one way. But no, I think as you go into Bullring Shopping Centre, you go up the escalator. I think I went up the wrong escalator. I don't know if I went up because I ended up coming out at a different station. It wasn't New Street Station, it was a different station. So by the time we actually found out, we ended up coming out a different side to the Bullring. I was like, you know what, I cannot be asked to go up any more hills. So we ended up just getting a taxi in the end. So we ended up getting a taxi. We rocked up at the Hilton for about, I think it was around 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish. And then, yeah, met up with some people that was already there. Luckily, Matt and Chris were already there, so I managed to get my room sorted, get my bags straight into the room. And, yeah, then went down to the bar, had a few drinks, found out very, very quickly how expensive the bar was this time around. £7.50 for a pint of beer. I mentioned this in my vlog, so if anybody's interested, check the description below for the link to my vlog. My full TFNation experience vlog is currently out. I managed to get that edited and uploaded as I got home. The bar situation is going to be a big con for me. The event itself is fantastic. I can't blame the TFNation crew for what goes on with the hotel because it's got nothing to do with them, quite obviously. But the bar situation, I think, some people were still buying alcohol, we're still going about it as intended, but I've got too much Yorkshire in me to warrant to pay out £7.50, £6.50 a pint each time I go to the bar. So I'm quite happy that I did utilise the idea of taking a pack of beer and a bottle of rum with me, which did help me out a little bit. So yeah, that is going to be a big con, is the bar situation just keeps getting worse every year. Again, nothing to do with TFNation. It's just one of those things. I understand it's a hotel that is quite high standard. It's meant to be a 4-star, I believe. I understand it's a Hilton. I understand it's quite a prestigious kind of hotel to a degree. But yeah, but still, it doesn't warrant the fact of how expensive the drinks were. But other than that, I did have a good time. I met some great people again, people that I've made friends with. You know who you are. I don't have to name names because, you know, if I was to name everybody, I'd be here till next August, probably. But yeah, you know who you are. If you came up to me, if you shook my hand, if we hugged, if we spoke, then you know who you are. There was some great people, people I've known for years. Excuse me. Some great people that I've known for years, throughout the years of me going to these events, and people that I've maybe met very, very briefly. But this time around, I was quite happy to actually be able to have a proper conversation with them. So yeah, I was quite happy to finally, even though I have met this person before in the past, but it was pretty brief. And that was Alpha Prime 88. It was really great to see Alpha Prime 88 and actually have a proper conversation, and also meet his lovely wife as well. It was really, really great to finally actually hang out. We actually went to ClubCon together, as well as Lawrence came along as well. So we actually went to ClubCon and everything on the Saturday evening together. So that was actually quite cool, and saw each other splattering throughout the throughout the weekend, like. And then obviously Andy of Transformers the Show, managed to have a nice conversation with him again. Paul and everything of Transformers the Show. Yeah, so I managed to see some great people, and it was a good laugh. I always have a great laugh, especially when I meet up with Richard Fieldhouse. Richard Fieldhouse, seriously, he just, it's always a laugh when you meet up with Richard. It's fantastic. But no, it was just fantastic. The event itself was brilliant. I'm trying to remember what's going on in my head about certain aspects of it, but the panels, I managed to go to certain panels. I didn't get to go to every single panel I was hoping to. Again, but at least this time around I didn't miss everything, because last year I literally missed everything except for Gary Chalk's panel and the ending ceremony stuff. I managed to catch that stuff, but this time around I managed to catch obviously Sue Blue's panel, part 1 and part 2. I managed to check out the Mikey's panel on the Friday. I managed to check out the Gundam panel on the Friday. I managed to check out the what else? Oh, Robosen, a bit of Robosen's panel. What else did I check out? David Sabalov. I've already kind of met David Sabalov, so I didn't really bother going to his panel, even though I did want to go to his panel, but I ended up missing that, and I didn't go to Jeremy Levy's either. I ended up just kind of mostly going for Sue Blue. And then obviously I went to the ending ceremony, opening ceremony, and all that kind of jazz. So I managed to make at least some, get to some of the panels this time around. But yeah, the amount of panels, the amount of variety of different programming on this time around was actually quite cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, in past TFNations, the panels are usually really, really good. Some really interesting stuff. But this time around, I thought, a lot more. The panels really did stand out a lot more to me this time around. Because usually when I go to conventions, when I go to TFN, for instance, I usually just kind of more gravitate towards the. I usually gravitate towards the voice actor panels mostly, but obviously, but Sue Blue was the main one. I did take my Studio Series 86 RC to get signed. I never managed to get it signed. I never managed to actually get to meet her. Now, I am going to say something in regards to signatures. It seems, I don't know whether there was some slight miscommunication going on. I when I first got my when I first went to registration, I was given a slip for David Sabalov, and basically I had to take that with me when I met him, and that would guarantee me 2 free signatures on whatever I had with me. But I don't usually do signatures, I usually just get the photograph. I found out I kind of got the wrong end of the stick to a degree, where I generally thought they were charging for signatures as well as photographs, so nothing was free, even though there was at least supposed to be 2 signatures free. If you bring something of your own to get signed, then there would be no charge. But obviously, as well, if it was like a very premium item, then you may get charged. I knew about that stuff, but they were charging for a selfie with them. I believe all 3 of them. Please forgive me if I'm wrong with that, but I believe all 3. I can understand Sue Blue to a degree, because obviously she's a much more of a bigger guest for that they had this year. But David Sabalov, we've had David Sabalov in the past at TFNation, I believe, or he has been to. I have met him before, and there was no charge for a selfie, and there was no, at least I don't remember, a charge for a selfie or an autograph. But this time around, there was a charge. Whether it was in regards to Rise of the Beasts, because it's a very, very recent film, so possibly it was because of the film that was most recently released, where David Sabalov voiced Battletrap and Rhinox. I don't know. But yeah, it's just for me, it was that kind of put a little bit of a dampener on the situation for me for the event itself. Was I was hoping to meet Sue Blue. I was hoping to just be able to get my figure signed, which I could have done. So quite a lot of people managed to get a photograph or managed to get something signed by Sue Blue. But to be honest, by the time I actually got around to do it, I was running out of funds. I believe it was like 25 quid or something for a selfie from Sue. And then obviously if I wanted to buy like a print of hers, of course I would have to pay. But they were quite expensive as well, just a print with it as well. But yeah, money was getting a little bit tight, and I was getting absolutely knackered. I was absolutely worn out by the Sunday when I went to go and have a look about getting something signed. Part of me, I kind of wish I went with the meet and greet package, but to be quite honest, I couldn't really warrant it at the time. I couldn't afford to do that as well as pay for the weekend as well. I just couldn't afford it. So it was either pay to go for the weekend, like I did, or not go at all. That was literally it. Whether if I had bought the meet and greet as well as being able to get access to the Friday and so on and so forth, ClubCon and all that, then it would have been too expensive, and I just would not have been able to afford it at all. So yeah, I kind of wish that I was able to, that I maybe did the meet and greet so that I would have actually managed to meet Sue Blue, get something signed, get a nice picture taken. But what can you do? What can you do? But no, I never got to actually meet her in person, physically face to face. But I at least managed to actually see her in person, when she was doing her panel, which is at least the main thing, I guess. But no, it's just one of those things. I was just absolutely exhausted, physically completely exhausted by the Sunday, and I literally the queue for Sue Blue. Quite understandably, the queue for her was literally snaking around the dealer room, and I was like, I just cannot be asked to stand in that queue. I really can't. So I missed out. Well. What else? But no, yeah. So yeah, the event itself, I believe, and I managed to speak to Billy before I came home on the Monday, because I only saw him literally about 2 or 3 times throughout the whole weekend. Managed to get like a hug off him on the I think it was on the Saturday. I managed to get a hug off him. And then I managed to actually bump into him on the Monday outside the hotel at the smoking area. Managed to kind of just see him there as well before I came home. But yeah, apparently this event was actually meant to be. It was actually one of the hardest ones they've actually had to. Apparently, this TFN 2023 was literally the hardest one they've ever had to pull off, which is kind of interesting, considering Stan Bush year. I would have thought that would have been very difficult to pull off. But no, apparently this was the hardest one they've ever done, and but they did a great job. It went off. It felt like it went off without a hitch. But no, it was a fantastic event. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. It was great to see everybody. It was great to catch up with people. It was great to kind of see some first timers. I got a nice bit of acknowledgement as well from my videos and my channel. Apparently a couple of people had literally just subscribed to me, actually discovered my channel, my videos, because of talking about TFNation. So apparently, you know, quite a few people had recognised me. I managed to get noticed by a couple of newbies, or I don't know if they were newbies, but I certainly hadn't met them before myself. But thanks to making the videos that I do in regards to TFNation every year, you know, I did actually get acknowledged. I did actually get noticed, which actually was quite nice. But no, I don't know what more I can really say, to be honest. Is that the event itself was fantastic, as always. The level of programming and events and panels that was going on throughout from the Friday, Saturday, Sunday was actually really cool. Actually, you know, Sue Blue being at TFNation was fantastic. David Sabalov and so on, and Jeremy Levy, you know, pretty fantastic guests, to be quite honest with you, even though I never actually met any of them. To be honest, Jeremy Levy I was least more interested in checking out, mostly because, yeah, I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest. I'm usually quite switched on when it comes to voice actors, but Jeremy Levy, I don't really know that much. I understand he was Bumblebee, and I believe he voiced Rack and Ruin, and I think was it Wingblade? Not Wingblade. I can't remember now, but he voiced multiple different characters in Cyberverse. I mean, I don't mind Cyberverse, but like I say, you know, it was I was least interested in checking him out, but at least I managed to go to Sue Blue's panels, part 1 and part 2, even though I never actually got to meet them in person. Same with David Sabalov, but like I say, David Sabalov has been to the UK before to an earlier event, so, but yeah. Well, anyway, so I think that's going to be my thoughts. I know it's not the best, but I generally can't remember everything that happened. But no, it was fantastic. It was a great event. Very happy to have met everybody again. Managed to catch up with people, great friends, people I've known for years. Actually have a proper conversation with some people that I've only ever really seen briefly walking by. It was a fantastic event. I really thoroughly enjoyed myself. I was really looking forward to it right up until going. And yeah, it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, there we are. That is my post thoughts. TFN 2024 is going to be happening. On the closing ceremony, they announced both TFN Minicon as well as TFN 2024. TFN Minicon is going to be on in Manchester on the 23rd of March 2024, and TFNation 2024 is going to be from the 9th through to the 11th of August 2024. So yeah, I cannot wait to do it all again, to see everybody. I think next year I'm going to make sure that I save up a little bit more cash in the meantime, because at least now going forward, at least I know it's looking like it's going to. I bet next year it'll be about 10 quid a fucking pint. I bet next year it'll be like 10 quid a fucking drink. It's getting there. It's getting there, people. But anyway. But I think I'm going to need at least a little bit of extra cash on just for the bar and food situation. Because it's, you know, it's just, the problem is with the bar and everything is that apparently I also found out as well that you need that you needed to apparently you needed something like a coupon or something in order to go to the restaurant or something. I don't know if you needed something in order to kind of either get, I don't know, something in regards to the restaurant in the hotel, because that looked real expensive. But to be honest with you, it is very, very difficult because of where the Hilton is situated. You pay more for everything. You know, you pay more for literally everything. Because you're right next to the NEC, it's a convention exhibition centre, the NEC, and then you've got the Resort World at the other end. So everything within that area, you are paying you're paying more for something that you would pay less for elsewhere. Even if you went to Subway, you're still paying more for the subways in the NEC. But like I say, it's very expensive. It really is expensive just to go out for a meal. Even though it's a little bit cheaper going to Resort World than it is eating at the hotel, the Hilton, but it's still not that far off cheaper. But it's maybe you're looking at a couple of quid difference, really. But anyway, what can you do? I mean, like I say, I'm not blaming TFNation at all. I can't, because it's got nothing to do with them. You know, the Hilton, the hotel, is quite literally just the host. That they are hosting TFNation. TFNation is in that hotel. What the pricing and all that kind of jazz is all on the hotel. It's down to them. So, you know, Billy and the team can't really do anything about it. I mean, I don't even know if there was a 10% discount on the bar this year. I certainly didn't notice any difference. I was getting charged the same, even though I had my wristbands visible. So I have a feeling there was no discount rate this time, but whatever. But regardless of that, the bar situation and also the signature kind of confusion, there was a bit of confusion with the signatures and everything for the guests and that, and selfies and things. Other than those two issues, I had a fantastic time. You know, I can't wait to go through it all again and see everybody in 2024. I am considering on going to the day event in March. I am thinking about that because obviously Manchester's a lot closer to me than than Birmingham. It's a lot closer, so I might consider doing Minicon. But TFN 2024 is definitely going to be on the cards. But anyway, so thank you for watching. That's been my TFNation 2023 post-thoughts. Thank you ever so much for watching. And to everybody that I saw, and to everybody that I shook hands with, I hugged, or whatever, spoke to, you are all fantastic. You are all awesome. Thank you for making it a great weekend for myself. And a nice, memorable weekend, as always. And thank you to Billy and to the TFN crew and the team for really rallying together again and bringing us a fantastic event yet again. You guys did us proud. You did us well, and it was a great event in the end. So thank you to you guys. Thank you to everybody that support my channel and support my videos. I'll be back very soon with more videos. I'm hoping before I go back to work, I want to try and get some reviews out. Try and get maybe a review or something out before I go back. But keep your eyes peeled. Thank you ever so much. See you soon. Bye.